Hello, and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be discussing how the parties are voting in Parliament, and we'll be using a spreadsheet that I've been working on and have previously pitched to Parliament and other media companies such as the Spin-Off, the Platform, and none of them have taken up my offer of working on it. So instead I'll just be putting it here for you, but the spreadsheet is not quite ready yet. This video will serve as a neat introduction to my spreadsheet, and every time that there is a week where Parliament is sitting, I will make sure to update you all. So let's look at the current up-to-date count on the percentage of government bills that each party has voted on. The Coalition have been quite consistent, voting for approximately 99.79% of all government bills, and the differences that they haven't voted for I'll get into later. Then we have Labour voting for 50.72% of all government bills, in fact, a slim majority. Then we have the Greens with 39.84%, and Te Pāti Māori with 38.19%. Now looking at what the government disagrees on, they disagree on the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi Bill in its second reading, with only ACT voting in favour, with New Zealand First and National voting against. And here are the reasons why.
Some will say that a government can change these policies case by case, and indeed I'm proud to be part of a government that is doing that. The problem is, though, that another government can just as easily bring them back if the bad ideas behind these policies are not confronted. And that's why we see professional bodies, universities, the public service and schools nurturing the divisive idea that the treaty is a partnership, hoping it will grow again at some future time.
New Zealand First has been challenged. I have been challenged as to why this bill is not supported. Our message is simple. The foundation of our country was the treaty that brought us together, not principles that were loosely fashioned in an effort to expedite settlement processes and divisive interactions between Māori and the Crown.
We continue to believe there are better ways to address the many legitimate questions about the role of the treaty in our democracy today, and is to progress with the numerous specific changes that we're making case by case, issue by issue.
Moving on, there is a racing industry closure of Greyhound Racing Industry Amendment Bill from New Zealand First, which on the third reading it passed but only ACT voted against. And here is the reason why.
Because let's be very clear about something. This industry was not built in Wellington by MPs in this House or by fancy suits in the Beehive. This industry was built by hard-working New Zealanders, Kiwis with rough hands, and not done by favours or handouts from government. They built an industry and a community through decades and generations of work. And now they are being told that they're the problem and they don't deserve to have what they've worked for, what they've invested in, what they've lived in.
And then finally, we have the Broadcasting Repeal of Advertising Restrictions Amendment Bill, which basically means that it would be putting ads back on holidays on the TV. So, interestingly, National, Labour and ACT voted for it, meanwhile the Greens, New Zealand First and Te Pāti Māori voted against it. Now moving on to subcategories, we have treaty settlements, and all of the parties voted for them as treaty settlements are already settled between the Crown and iwi via the Waitangi Tribunal, so they're more of a formality. Moving on to social development, the coalition government voted for all of them. The Labour Party only voted for 38.46%. The Greens only voted for 15.38%. And Te Pāti Māori also only voted for 15.38%. Moving on to bills regarding crime and justice. Again, the coalition voted for them 100% of the time. Labour voted for them 64.41% of the time. The Greens voted for them 50.85% of the time, and Te Pāti Māori voted for them 44.07% of the time. And then finally, looking at relating to housing and RMA reform, the Coalition voted for them 100%, Labour voted for them 37.5%, Greens voted for them 31.25%, and Te Pāti Māori voted for them 31.25% as well. Now that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. As I said earlier, I will plan on making this a long form series, as it is important that everyone knows exactly what each party is voting on so we can be a more informed democracy. So of course make sure to like the video if you liked it and subscribe to see more of these videos, and of course for other videos such as polling and my election prediction videos. But as for now, I'll see you in the next one.